but people say math's a foreign language and they joke about it. But it's not a joke. Math is a foreign language. And it's not foreign unless if you know it. So math is a language. And in this next section, we're going to learn some vocabulary, and we're going to translate algebraic expressions to English. We're going to translate algebraic expressions to English.
Okay.
Okay. So before we do that, we need, let's call this topic 2. Before we do this, we need to introduce some special words for symbols in math. So each of the operations that we've done so far, I'm not going to use them for exponents, but each of the operations have special words that correspond to the operation. Okay. And what are they? Well, let's look at addition. And each of these have words I like, and each of these have words I don't like. Because they're like baby words. I hate to say the word baby word, but they have words that are less mature for a, modern audience. Maybe they could call it that. I don't know. Less intellectual words.
Okay.
And I don't like those, but I'll you know which ones they are, so we might as well say who they are. Because they're listed on my word list here, but I'm going to try to not use those. But each of these 4 big ones, well, we have addition, and then we have subtraction. And then we have multiplication. I hope I have enough room here. I'm going to write multiply so I have enough room. And then we have divide.
That's 1 L.
Division. Oh. You just love to correct me, don't you? Okay, so each of these words, they have, each of these operations have key meanings, keywords, and we're going to learn the keyword first. Because whenever, what's important about the keyword is, it's special because if I say blank, keyword blank, the order doesn't change. So in some of these cases, the order can change. Okay, and the keyword for addition is sum. So if I say the sum of 3 and 4, that will always mean 3 plus 4. But because of addition's commutative, it also means 4 plus 3. But order is not affected by the keyword sum. Sum. Mathematicians like the word sum. But there are other words that come up in word problems. More than, that means addition. Increased by. Okay, there's 2 more. There's one I like, and then there's one I don't like. See what you remember.
Pluses. You like that one.
I hate pluses. Don't use plus. Plus. Okay, first of all, pluses is not a word. Plus. Do not name a operation after its symbol on the calculator. No. Don't do that, please.
Okay.
But the one I do like is total. The total. So if you go to the grocery store and you say, what was my total? And they'll tell you, your total is this. How do they find the total? They add up everything you put in your cart, right?
Right.
Total. All right. Subtraction. Similarly, one word. Subtraction is not commutative. That means order matters with subtractions. That means 3 minus 4 is not the same as 4 minus 3. Okay? But we do have keywords for subtraction, and some of these do reverse the order when we say them.
Okay.
One does not. That word is the keyword, which is difference. Okay. And a lot of people confuse the word difference with distance. Difference, not distance. Difference. Keyword. The difference of 12 and 4 is 8. 12 minus 4 is 8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The difference in apples and banana. I don't know that one. Okay, difference. Less. 3 less 1. 3 less 1.
Mm-hmm.
Order does not change when you use the word less. And really,
Okay.
subtraction is the only one where the order changes, except for one word with addition. And that word is not even on this list, but I still know about it. Less. Less than. 1 less than 3. Order does change. 1 less, and I'm already pulling over here into multiply. Poor multiply. Okay. Then there's one more that oh, no, there's a couple. This doesn't change the order. Decreased by. I like decreased by. But there's one that I hate.
Minus.
Minus. No. Minuses. No.
Minuses.
Do not use minus or minuses. If I gave you 3 numbers and I wanted you to make a subtraction sentence out of this, please refrain from using the word minuses. Okay, so the only one we need to worry about is than. That changes the order.
Okay.
3 less than 4 is 1, not negative 1. 3 less than 4. 4 less 3. Okay?
Got it.
Got it. All right. Multiply. Big word. Now, multiply is easy because multiply is commutative.
Like addition.
Just like addition, yes. And its inverse is not. Imagine that. Okay. Multiply. Product is the key word.
Mm-hmm.
You can always use product. The product of 3 and 4 is 12. I'm on a 3 and 4 trip today. I don't know what. The product of 3 and 4. One that is this one actually comes up a lot, and it's okay. Multiplied by. Okay, there is a word that I do not like.
Times.
Times is no.
Times is.
No. Not times. Not times is. This is 3 times 4. No. It is 3 times 4, but no. Try to avoid using this. The product of 3 and 4. Let's talk like we're going to school to get an education and sound educated, not to talk like uneducated people. Another one that kind of threw you off yesterday, the last time we did this. But this is a special kind of multiply. Twice means to multiply by what?
Itself.
2. Not itself. 2.
I did it again.
Yes, you did. You're on a squared trip. I said no exponents today, 2. Twice means to multiply by 2. Twice a number. Thrice is to multiply by
3.
3. And if you quadruple something, you multiply by
4.
4. Because a quadruped has how many legs?
4.
4. Quad means 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Don't ask why quadratic equation doesn't have 4 solutions. That's for another day.
Okay.
All right. Next. Division. Now, division, every word is okay with division. We can smile with division. You could say divided. Or, yeah. There isn't a bad word with division. I don't think there is. Divide by 0 is the only thing you can't do. The key word for division is quotient. The quotient of 2 numbers. But there's ways to write division, and there's wrong ways to write. Well, there's a wrong way to write everything, but with division we could say x divided by y Or we could say x divided by y. And in some cases, you see x divided by y.
Mm-hmm.
Notice that that's a hard one to do. That's backwards. Because you put what you divide, you put the dividend, this is called the dividend, outside. But one that computer science people use that I don't really accept, but it's okay, is x/y. And it has a purpose because you can't program a computer without the slash key. So slash is okay.
Okay.
All right, more keywords. Quotient, big one. Oh, and I forgot one of these. We'll come back to multiply. Ratio. Remember when I said that, what kind of expression was this called when we had an expression over an expression? I said it was a rational expression. Ratio means divide. If you take the ratio of two things, the ratio of x and y is this. The ratio of x and y.
Okay.
Divided by one that you have to really change is, and you don't see too much, is into. 3 into 12
All right.
is like this, right? That's 3 into 12. But 3 into 12 is written as this. Okay. So into is kind of the tricky one, and you don't really see that much. You don't see it that much. You'll hear me talk about it later in much future classes, maybe, but not so recent. Okay, so we have quotient, and I forgot one big one on multiply, and that's of. Of, and you say, well, how can of be multiply? Well, it's actually used more than you think. And I'm going to use some examples that we're not going to cover for, well, we'll get to fractions pretty soon, but half of 12. How do you find half of 12? You multiply them. Half of 12 is 6. What's 50% of 12?
6.
50% times 12.
Mm.
Yeah, those are the same. They mean the same thing. Because 50%, and we're going to learn this relatively, it's coming quick. 50% is 1/2 of 12. Okay, so we got our vocabulary. Now let's look at some examples. Since we're moving right along. The sum, and for the unknown variable, I want you to use x.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to translate these. We're not going to translate from algebra to English. We're going to translate from English to algebra. Okay, the sum of 13 and a number. How would you write that in algebraic?
3 plus x.
13 plus x.
I'm sorry, 13 plus x.
What about this? Is this okay?
It is.
It is, because order does not matter with addition. These are both correct. Okay, here we get to the tricky one. Ooh, 12 less than a number. 12 less than a number.
It would have to be x minus 12.
Right. That means you're taking 12 from a number. From is another word that can come in with than too. But from's a little more obvious than than. And none of these examples I have. Okay. Now, we're going to do... I'm kind of going to throw things off a little bit because this might be a little tricky. Okay. Twice a number, comma, decreased by 6. And I want to do this in 2 different ways. And twice a number, decreased by 6. What is the difference in these 2 sentences?
One's got a comma and the other one doesn't, which means...
This one has a comma, and this one does not. That means they are translated different, because why would you put a comma there? Just put it there. So that means you're going to take a breath when you take the comma. Twice a number decreased by 6 is 2x minus 6. What is this one? Twice. That means you're going to do a number decreased by 6 first. If you do something first, what do you do to it?
Okay, you put it in parentheses.
You put it in parentheses,
Yeah,
if you can write. So you do that first. That means you put it in parentheses, and then twice a number decreased by 6. So if there's a comma, you stop. You take a breath. 2x minus 6. If there isn't a comma, that means you have to do what comes after first. And hopefully there's not a whole lot of commas, because these get nasty. They're not going to get nasty in this lecture, but they could get nasty. Twice the number decreased by 6. Okay. All right. We didn't do one with a quotient last time, so let's do one with a quotient. 7 more than the quotient of a number and 9. 7 more than quotient of a number and 9.
Now, what does the and stand for then?
What do you mean the and here?
Yeah.
Okay, well, quotient of a number in 9 is x divided by 9. All right, this keyword for divide is quotient.
I gotcha. Yep.
And you would do divide first, right?
Because it's, yes.
Because the order of operations say do divide first. And then you could add 7. Or you could do 7 plus x over. Either way. Because addition's commutative. So those are the same. Okay?
Okay.
Moving right along. I don't think I have any more good examples. Just remember, if you see the word from or than in subtraction, you reverse. Okay.
Let's say that last part again, please.
If you see the word than, or from, with less or decreased or subtracted from, less than, it usually means you're going to reverse. 95% of the time. Now, there are those rare cases that I won't throw out at you, but, you know, there's those instructors out there that are like, what about this? That's not me. Okay. So that ends topic 2.